next sequence, you might want a small weight, like 2.5 kilos. And I've also got some cushions because we are going to go onto the mat. And they are to protect your knees. The first movement that we're going to do is you're going to tuck your tailbone under and then draw up with your rib cage. It's not a sink down, it's a lift through rib cage and tucking your lower ribs in, so you're creating this beautiful dish shape. Okay. From here, you're going to lift your arms overhead, breathe out. Inhale, arms come back down again. So lift up, tuck your tailbone, ribs tuck in and lift, and then exhale. And as I'm doing this, I'm activating a lot of my body muscles. My glutes are working to support my spine. My abdomen is working through that inhale and exhale. My arms are working, and I'm thinking about how far backwards can I get my hands over my shoulder or even further without letting my ribs flare. So inhaling, lifting up, glutes are working, abdomen is working, and then from there I'm like, okay, how much can I take my hands backwards before my ribs want to flare and then come back down again? Okay, the next one we're going to do with the weight, it's exactly the same drill, we're just introducing a little bit of weight. Your hands are going to go under each end of the weight, tuck your tailbone under, arms come all the way up overhead, and then exhale, bring the weight all the way forwards. Now, we're not swinging, it's not a swing. If you do that swing, it will go through your lower back, so you'll feel it there. It is really nice, straight, strong arms, up overhead, and then straight, strong arms all the way back down again. And then safely, with a hip hinge, bring the weight back down to the floor. Now, we can do exactly the same drill, but make it slightly more difficult by putting a bend in your elbow. Tuck your tailbone under, still lifting through your ribs, but creating that dish. Now, we exhale, arms overhead, and then try and bring the palms of your hands together, squeeze your elbows together, and draw your hands into your shoulder blades, and then exhale, bring your hands all the way back again. What might want to happen as you do this is your ribs might want to flare. You really want to tuck in and draw your rib cage inwards while squeezing your elbows. Not easy. So exhale, arms come up, hands together, draw your rib cage in, squeeze your elbows together, that's the bit that I really struggle with, and then exhale, come back out again. We can now use a weight to do exactly the same drill. So the weight comes onto your thighs. You're drawing your shoulder blades away from your ears to start with. From here, press your hands together, lift through the front of the hip. Exhaling, draw your belly button into your spine. Arms come up overhead, and then we bend your elbows, draw the weight down into your shoulder blades, elbows are drawing together. Press straight arms. To make it even more difficult, we take out another joint, which is where your cushions come in. So with your cushions underneath your knees, you can either have your toes pointed downwards or flat. It's up to you. If your toes are tucked under, this will feel a little bit easier because it will be stabilising. If your toes are, or your feet are flat, you might find that your feet want to shift around a little bit more. If you find that, really press into the tops of your feet and see if you can stop that from happening. And we do the same thing again. So, starting without a weight, from here, you're going to lift up with the front of the hip, arms sweep all the way up overhead. You're going to bend your elbows, draw your hands into your shoulder blades, hands come all the way back down again. If you want to get a little bit of a glute workout, you can bring your hips down, come back up to reset. Arms and sweep overhead, hands come together, draw your elbows in, hands into your shoulder blades, keeping control of your ribs all the time. Now we introduce the weight. It's exactly the same movement as we've done before. So hips are up. From here, exhaling. Arms come overhead, bending your elbows, draw the weight into your shoulder blades. Exhale, inhale, arms come back down, hips come back. From here, come back up again. Exhale, bend your elbows. Squeeze your elbows together, send your arms overhead, inhale. If you want to get more into your adductors, you can take your knees nice and wide, and then from here, come up. You should feel a little bit of a stretch into the inside of your thigh. Same again, arms come overhead, bend your elbows, press, come all the way back down again, hips come down, hips come up, arms come all the way up, bend your elbows, press, inhale. Place the weight to one side and then bring your knees all the way back on your mat, and you also want your cushions underneath your knees. Start in a tabletop position. Now, if you find that your wrists are getting really sore, you can roll your mat up and then bring the heels of the hands slightly higher than your fingertips, and you might find that that feels a little bit more pleasant. So from here, give a little bit of a wiggle of your tailbone and your spine to work out where you have a straight back. Bring your spine up above your shoulder blades. Shoulder blades are apart. And then from here, we're going to lift your right arm, bring it back down, lift your left arm, bring it back down, lift your right leg, squeeze your right bum cheek, bring your knee back down again, lift your left leg, squeeze your left bum cheek, bring your leg back down again. And you're going to run through this and just make sure that your back's not tilting. So we really are looking for your abdomen to start working here. going to move on to a full plank position. This is a harder exercise than the previous one, so you can choose which variation you prefer. Take your cushions out the way. Hands are underneath your shoulders. From here, we come into your high plank position. Shoulders are over your wrists. Take your left foot all the way up to your hands. That in itself requires a little bit of a lift through your abdomen. If you struggle to get your foot all the way up there, don't worry about giving your foot a little bit of a nudge forwards and helping it. Right hand is underneath your right shoulder. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling, we open. Left hand comes down, shoulder blades are apart, we lift your left foot up, right foot turns forwards, right hand comes up towards the ceiling. Right hand comes back down again, we lift, that's where your abdomen comes in. We place your left foot forwards and rotate. Left foot back, right foot forwards, rotate. Keep switching over here.